You know, we love people who need to buy and they need to buy today. But what about the person that is just not sure? I mean, you've got just what they want, but they aren't motivated enough to move forward. Let's talk today about getting sales prospects off the fence and turning them into buyers. Well, greetings, Jeff Shore here. Welcome to another 5-minute sales training. Hey, I want you to think of a time that you had a customer. They came into your office, you met at their office, whatever it is. But as you were talking to them, you could just tell they just didn't seem that motivated to buy. And after a while, you were asking yourself, why are they even here? And then what happens next? Your brain starts coming up with reasons as to why they're not going to buy. We start future casting who these people are. In fact, if you've ever thought about that or you've heard stories from other salespeople, write it down in the comment section. What are some of the things that we make up in our mind to convince ourselves that the reason that we didn't get the sale is because they're not real buyers? What are some of the stories we tell? Write it in the comment. And while you're at it, make sure that you like or dislike this video so that I know whether or not I'm adding value to your world. And hitting that subscribe button is going to help us get 5-minute sales training in front of more viewers so we can help them learn more to earn more, as we like to say. All right, so let me give you a story about this, about that unmotivated buyer, because he wanted to move and she didn't. Why? Well, what happened was he had an insurance business, that it was industrial insurance, that he ran out of his home. He had 2 boys, 8 and 10. Now, the boys shared one bedroom and his office was in another, right next door to there. It was already a problem because it was really, really loud. But the boys didn't get along, not at all. I mean, like fighting, like bloodshed. And a counselor said, you got to get these boys their own room. So he moved his office out of the room, out of the bedroom, and into the corner of the master bedroom. It was a table in the corner of that was his new office. He's like, this is not going to work out. We need to move. Sounds like fair, right? That he's got a raging dissatisfaction. Oh, but there's a problem. She doesn't want to move. Why? Because her best friend from high school lives next door. And you might as well build a corridor between the 2 homes because they are at each other's homes all the time. So what's happening here? Are they going to move or are they not going to move? And in order to answer this question, I like to think of this as what I call the pain-pleasure scale. On the one hand, we show him with a high degree of pain, a high degree of frustration, a high degree of dissatisfaction. We show her with a high degree of pleasure in the current situation. His goal is to overcome the pain. Her goal is to continue the pleasure of that current situation. Now, the key problem that we have here is that she is now at a 0, not a level 1. She's at a 0. She has no dissatisfaction at all. So if they're going to move, she has to get off of that 0. Getting her to a level 1 is a critical first step. Forget the product for a moment. This scenario happens over and over again anytime you have more than one prospect. But quite frankly, it happens even when you have only one prospect who's not particularly motivated. And there's a technique that you can use that will work whether it's one person, whether there are multiple decision makers, and it can work anytime you're dealing with somebody with low motivation. I call it the if versus when question. It sounds like this, and this is the question that I would pose to this lady. Is it fair to say that you're going to move at some point, and it's just a question of whether now is the right time? That's the if versus when question. Is it fair to say that you're going to make a move at some point, and it's only a matter of whether now is the right time? Look, they're already talking to a salesperson. So we know that there has been some measure of movement here. There's been some measure of pushing this forward. That buyer still has a low motivation, but when she says yes, what's just happened now? She's no longer at a 0 level motivation. I've moved her at least to a 1. You see, now we're not fighting the battle of whether she's going to move at all. We're only asking, when is she going to move? And I don't know about you, but I would much rather fight the battle of timing versus the battle of motivation any day of the week. It's the if versus when question. Once I move that prospect off of a 0, then anything is in play. Try it. Try it for yourself. Hey, thanks for watching today's 5-minute sales training. If you haven't heard, the new app, Sales 365, is now live. Join the community over at sales365.io. We're turning top 10% salespeople into top 1% salespeople, and we want you to come along. Just click the link that's in the description below to find out more. And until next time, learn more to earn more.